Hello, everyone. I'm here with Matthew Saleski. Very excited to talk to you. Matthew, thanks for talking to me today.
Thank you, Matt. Pleasure to be here.
Great. So Matthew, he's a marketing and sales leader, thought leader, a DEI champion. He's got an impressive background. I mean, you've worked with companies, Kraft, Tribune, who I first met you, Getty, Yahoo, LinkedIn. Can you please share what you're passionate about and what you're up to?
No, I appreciate that, Matthew. For me, passion comes in many forms. And if I were to summarize it in one big swath, it's people. And people, yes, technology and all the cool stuff. But at the end of the day, people are the ones who make it all happen. They bring it together. And when people are involved, things get better. And when people collaborate, it gets better. And that's some of the themes that I'm going to be bringing out in this conversation.
Great. Well, what are you currently seeing in the market today? It's definitely an interesting market. I'm just curious your insights and thoughts.
Yeah, I think I would characterize it as we're all in this phase of post-COVID fatigue. You know, there's still disruptions that are still playing out. There was just an article in the New York Times the other day about this revenge spending that waned. So there is all this pent-up demand that was happening when we were all in lockdown. And then suddenly people blew the drawers off. We saw this with our vacation rental business. We had bookings and people were paying any price, et cetera. And it was, how high is the ceiling? And that has completely swung back the other way. Now, there are articles, there was just a Business Insider talking about how there's a sporadic season right now with vacation rentals, for instance. A lot of the companies, look what happened with Peloton, et cetera. All that has gone. There's always this pendulum effect. There was also the talk of the great resignation that was happening. People were just saying, this isn't what I want to do. And they started moving around a lot more. And now that the pendulum is swinging back the other way, where companies now are saying, well, no, you're going to stay here and we're going to require that you come into the office more.
I know you talk a lot about long-term results. Any advice you have for companies, CEOs, C-level executives on best maximizing long-term outcomes and I guess corporate culture as well?
Yeah, I think there's a couple things at play, and I would be remiss if I didn't bring this to the forefront in terms of disruptions, because it is absolutely going to affect the long term. Is AI? It's disrupting everything. I don't think there's anybody with who's not looking at the headlines are not seeing it play out. The question is, where is it going to go? There's great prognosticators that are saying, hey, this is going to be the end of humanity. But I think, again, if the more people understand it, use it, test it out for themselves, it's going to help. On the point of long term, it's interesting. A lot of the marketers that I've worked with over the years, a lot of them, particularly in social media and in the digital universe, are focused on the short term. They're focused on driving demand. But there is this think tank called the B2B Institute, it's part of LinkedIn, that actually showcases that at any given time, a full 95% of your potential clients or customers are not in market. They're not in the market for your products and services. And actually now in this current climate with the economy, it's gone to 99% of the time.
Wow.
Which means that stresses and underscores the importance of your brand. A lot of C-level executives don't really want to talk about brand because they don't think it brings anything to the table. But I would actually position that that's one of the most important things, and that's building that equity and making sure that when people are ready to buy, that they're ready to buy from you.
Well, I know we've talked about LinkedIn and building a brand, something we've both been passionate about. Any advice, again, you have for, I guess, CEOs, C-level professionals, or any professionals on why they should be more active on something like LinkedIn and build their brand more? I mean, I know you shared some things with me, but I'd be interested in hearing more.
Yeah, absolutely. We did a lot of research when I was at LinkedIn with different partners. Altimeter was one, and that showed that today's top leaders are actually social leaders. They recognize the value of their voice in social media. And this is just isn't on LinkedIn, this is just across the board, because what it does is it not only burnishes their personal brand, it actually halos back to their company. So people see it, their employees are more engaged because they see Joanne, our leader, is on there. She's talking about the value, then they post, and they are more encouraged to post as well. And we actually see there's bottom line results in the research that show that when they are involved, that the brand actually is better positioned. The companies, the employees are more advocates. The potential customers are looking at them that much more frequently. And guess what? They're buying from them.
Yeah. I like how you said that too, because I'm always trying to encourage, talk more, find your voice, employees will follow. But this halo effect, I really think there's a lot of intangibles with that. Another topic that you and I discussed was you as a DEI champion, you shared that it's more than just, doing mindful things and focused on DEI, that there's actual tangible benefits and productive benefits. Can you talk a little about that? I even thought you had some statistics.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's a lot of statistics that support it, and these studies have been over the years. One of the key things is just thinking about gender parity. Gender parity, not just to say that we've got enough men and women, but that actually the women are equally paid and those and compensated. And the supporting stats are that the organizations in the top quartile for gender diversity have a 25% likelihood of financially outperforming their peers. So that's a plus 25%. So they're so again, that's a high incidence. Anything over plus 20% is a high incidence, right? So that's one important factor. I think the other thing is that diverse companies earn 2.5 times more, higher cash flow per employee is another great stat that I would call out. And diversity can come with many forms. And we see some companies that have been rather traditional in the media coming out now and making a stand for DEI, hiring DEI leaders, and that's coming out and that's showcasing that. And I think the companies that stand by that and behind that and can, I think, tune out the noise are going to be the ones who are the future. Because if you think about it, it's not only placating their employees, but it's also the customers. Customers now are younger than ever. They're millennials and beyond, and they're the ones who are moving into the decision maker space. And they care that companies are talking about DEI, sustainability, all the things that matter to them in the future of this world.
Wow. So it's more than just being socially conscious. There's actually data showing that is good for the top line and bottom line and culture. So
that's right.
Well, listen, I like having short and sweet conversations, putting them here on LinkedIn. I know we could talk for hours on topics, but again, I wanted to get your thoughts on, LinkedIn, DEI. If somebody wanted to get a hold of you, what's the best way for someone to reach out to you?
Right here on LinkedIn, I'm Matthew Saleski. I encourage people to, contact me directly, or certainly just reach out to me through by commenting on one of my posts.
Great. Well, I appreciate you taking some time. I'll put your LinkedIn on the comments, and I look forward to keep continuing our conversations.
Sounds great, Matthew. I really appreciate the time. Great talking to you as always.
Same here.